All right, welcome to the demo day, guys. This is February 5th for the Foundry Demo Day on Fridays that we're doing. It's going to be a pretty short one today. We're just going to demo the changes to smoke signal. Let me go ahead and kick that off now. So here's the front page of smoke signal. This is not quite ready to be put on the .eth link, but we're pretty close now. Just a few more things to put in place. But yeah, we're using hard hat here, which is part of the reason I'm on localhost, which just lets us fork from Ethereum mainnet and run transactions locally without paying gas costs. So if you get here the first time, you'll see this nice user graphic here, or new user graphic, I should say. It doesn't show up because it remembers that I've been here, and you can see how many replies there are, and you can click here, goes to the main content or topic, or sorry, the main post, which would be bigger if it was an actual post. Yeah, and you can also see the replies on this page, so if I go to this one, it already has a reply. I can actually reply on this one, and let's say, cool, that's the title, and the body will also be cool. And let's say I'm gonna put, whoops, 0.01 ETH there, and comment. Hard hat takes a while to populate this. And there you can see it's mining. And it's published, so we can click that to actually go to this new reply. Or we could just find it here. So if we go here again, we see test title, or here's the post, the sort of the top level post, and you can see also how many replies this has. So you can click through here, and that way you can sort of explore the nested replies. We're not displaying them nested yet, like Reddit does, although I think that's something we'll be working towards. Another thing to show off, I suppose, would be the tipping and burning now works on this version. So I can burn here, and this will increase the amount burned for this post. And the amount burned, for those of you who aren't familiar with the smoke signals sort of upvoting idea, the more that's burned for a post, the more it will, it gets higher and gets more exposure. Although it looks like my support burn maybe was not reflected here. Ronan, does this just show the author burn and not the crowd burn yet?
Yeah, those numbers on the top left, I don't think they're being updated by successful burns and tips.
Okay.
You'll have to do a refresh. So yeah, I'll do that next.
Okay. But yeah, and then similarly, you can tip. So if this was a very helpful Solidity tutorial, and I feel grateful, I can maybe tip this guy some amount of money. And that will actually go towards the original author. There you go. So you can see that's updating. But yeah, Ronan, it looks like this value is not, it's being calculated solely from the author's burn, not from the crowd's tips. Unless I just did the math wrong. Let me just, I guess I didn't burn that much. Let me try this. So it's mining. Oh, this one's taking a while. I can click here, and it would bring me to Etherscan, which of course is not going to work because we're on hard hat. There we go, so that gets updated there. Yeah, not much more to show off, I don't think. We still want to get this find a create topic thing working, because right now there's no way to build a post, or sorry, write a post for a new topic. Also, this here will be changed to an actual graphic. And we're thinking about changing up some of the visual direction here. We're not sure we like this orange here. But yeah, I guess the only other thing to show would be to compose, but I suppose I already showed off that. Yeah, anything else that I missed here I should go over?
Just a couple of questions. Do we have the nested replies going, right?
Well, they're not visually nested. So that's kind of what I was showing earlier. So if I click here, it has one reply. Maybe you should read two, because if you click here, it has a reply, and then this reply has its own reply. So in that way, it's structurally nested, and you can. So this is the post. maybe not as visually obvious because the post is very big. But this would be your article, and then you'd scroll down and you'd see if there was more than one post. In fact, I'll just do this real quick.
But just a question there, that is still that is still in the near-term roadmap, right? The nesting of the replies.
Yeah, well, we want to. I mean, I think the main thing is to get everything still functional first.
Okay.
Like the topics thing, we need to be able to post in separate topics first. I would say that's a bigger priority. But yeah, then you can see here, you can then navigate and see what the replies are here. And we also want to add a burn amount to the replies, and also sort these comments by the burn amount, so that any given post you're looking at, the higher burned replies will be shown first. And then you can also see how much was burned underneath them in their replies.
Just a quick question on the when you burn as well. I see there's an ether amount that you fill in at the moment. We're also going to still include the maker oracle for the price, right?
Yeah, so I think what we'd want is we'd want this to be a dollar value, and it still burns ether, of course, but that way everything in the app is denominated by dollars. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Anything else I should go over?
Yeah, that's everything from my side that I'm aware of that I wanted to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing I can think of.
All right. Cool. All right.
Welcome, by the way, Quadrilog.
Thanks for showing up.
Quadrilog. Yeah, there we go.
Yep, you've missed.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, any questions? Yeah. Okay, doesn't seem like it. We'll give it just a second, see in the chat here, in case he's typing something. All right, okay. I think that's it for the demo day then. Yeah, I'm sad we didn't quite get to the launch and get on the .eth domain, but we're working hard on it. Hopefully we'll get that up soon. Alrighty. Oh, there's a chat. Hold on. When are we planning on launching yeah, take it away, Skulk.
Yeah, so basically our plan at the moment with Death is I posted a update today in the Telegram group. There's a couple of changes we had to make. We were able to evaluate the existing contract. It had a couple of I wouldn't say unexpected issues, but issues we couldn't quite see with just the simulation tools we had beforehand. So the one thing was basically the more it boosts and repays, every time it does that, it consumes a lot of gas and it takes that out of the funds actually inside of the contract. So we've now come up with a way that the Foundry DAO governance will be able to set the ranges where it boosts and repays, such that regardless of how much or how little money there is, this thing still runs effectively. So so that's something that we're implementing. I'm hoping to get all of that done as soon as possible, so we can hand the contract in its entirety over to the auditor. I was hoping for today, but I think we'll probably only get to it about Monday. And then once that's over, once we've like internally audited it and given it to the auditor externally as well, then I also want to just get a decent test suite out for all of its different edge cases. So there's a couple of things about it that are proving a little bit more complicated than we had hoped for. But yeah, I sort of want to say soon DM. Smoke signal, Logan?
Yeah, so with smoke signal, yeah, it's tough because the redesign is taking longer than we thought it would. And then the other difficulty is that even when that's done and put on the .eth domain, we still have a pretty significant barrier to entry, which is the gas price, and then we have to address that. And that is something that we have some ideas for, but we haven't even decided on a direction yet for that. We still have to make that decision. So it's tough to say exactly. And it's also tricky. I mean, you asked when we'll launch it. In a way, it's launched now, but it's not being marketed. So I would say maybe a better question to talk about would be when will we market it? And I think as soon as we push this redesign update to the .eth domain, we'll start marketing it. Although I don't have a lot of hope for how much that will grab people because the gas cost is just ridiculous. And I think the big you know, the big hitting marketing things like getting Chico Crypto to review it. It seems like the best way to approach that is to not do it until we have some scaling thing planned there. So sheesh, I mean, and as far as giving you a date or, you know, a number of like weeks or months, it's tough to say because we don't really know exactly which direction we're going to go for scaling. An easy thing would be to use XDAI, although then we have to change backend providers because Rivet, who we use, I don't think they use XDAI. So that could be as soon as 3 weeks from now before we can do like the big marketing stuff and it's scaled, but that to me feels a little optimistic. But who knows? Maybe there's a quick win there. Yeah, I see there's another chat, another couple of points there. Yeah, we're excited to get to Chico Crypto, and you know, once we have Smoke Signal redesigned and efficient, I mean, I think it's going to be an incredible thing to market, and it's I'm just speaking honestly, I'm every week that goes by that we can't do those big marketing moves is very frustrating to me, and I'm extremely impatient because I really think we have a heavy hitter there, and it's like it seems like every week there's news that just opens the gap wider for Smoke Signal, and you know, I want us to be a first mover there. Obviously, I want Foundry to be putting the Smoke Signal solution out there. I think it'd be big. So yeah, it's a lot of uncertainty in terms of the sort of the time estimates here.
Just a thought that I had basically, which was a little bit further down the line on our scaling plan. But what if for scaling, we introduced like a second level of guarantee where we just basically pin an IPFS response. So in other words, you know, introduce some sort of a tick box as to how much guarantee you want, you know, and then maybe something like replies could work very simply on that basis.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been thinking more about how we, here's an idea that's been bubbling up for me in terms of how we deal with scaling and Smoke Signal fees. And, you know, we talked a while ago talking about Smoke Signal maybe should be viewed really as a portal to help you find uncensorable content wherever it is. That could be on a blockchain or on IPFS or on someone's home server for that matter. But then a Smoke Signal post would be some standard of agreed upon structure. So you have maybe a title, maybe it's a reply, and its ID is a hash of all that data. And so what I'm thinking in terms of the UX is maybe you go to Smoke Signal and you can click compose, maybe without even connecting a Web3 wallet. But then when you go to post, that's where the UX gives you a choice. And it says, okay, here are your options. For free, you can do this, but it'll like go away in a day because it's just on IPFS. For this, you know, if you pay, you can put it on Ethereum mainnet, which is ridiculously expensive, but it will never be deleted for a long time. Or you can put it on XDAI, and we can add those as we go. And then the Smoke Signal app just queries all those locations for a given post. And maybe a given post is stored on several of those locations, but because the post is identified by its hash, the copies are literally just copies. It doesn't really confuse the app. And you know, you could have a post on Ethereum getting a lot of exposure and then many replies pointing to that post, even if they're not on Ethereum, if they're on XDAI or IPFS or something like that. So I think that's the long-term, that to me seems like a really viable long-term, I don't know, route for Smoke Signal to resolve a lot of the tensions that we've been talking about for a while around fees and data permanence.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple more chats here.
VTSD, what is VTSD?
Let me look it up real quick. No, Google, I do not want to search feeds. I want to search. I don't see anything online.
Oh, sorry, PTSD from, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, VTSD, okay, yeah, no, we
Yeah.
definitely have VTSD.
Oh my God.
I thought maybe I actually thought VTSD might be another gas token. So there's like gas token, like the Chi token, but the problem with the Chi token is So the way that Ethereum works is it has this system where if you want to store something in the state, if you set the whole state is just this big hash map. So the data is all over the show, which is what makes retrieving and writing it so damn expensive. And one of the things that they do is the moment you change one of these locations from non-zero, well, from 0 to non-zero, then it costs you 2,000 gas, or sorry, 20,000 gas. The moment you change it from one value to another value that's non-zero, you basically get charged 5,000 gas. And if you change it to zeros, in other words, you delete it, then you get refunded 100,000 or 10,000 gas, basically. So I've got all these numbers wrong. Anyway, but now what guys have started doing is they now just spam when the gas is low. They just spam this hash tree with just junk, and then they have like a special purpose contract that if you execute something through this contract, they set some of this garbage back to zero. So they get those refunds.
And Ethereum's like, oh, thank you so much. Look, here's some money. Thank you for that. That's really nice to create some space.
Thank you. Exactly. Thank you so very, very much for spamming me and making everything unsustainably expensive. Here, have a discount. Anyway, so I'm sort of like I want to. I've been avoiding activating the Chi token on like one of the exchanges just because I fundamentally don't agree with it. But anyway, I might end up clicking that button.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we should end it here. Keep the content short.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's an important. Just to summarize, I think the long-term thing for Smoke Signal, the whole point is uncensorable. Well, it's another point too. We have three kind of offers: pseudonymous, uncensorable, /deplatforming, or /undeplatformable. And then what's the third one? Well, there's the whole burning mechanic, but there's a few sort of things packaged together. So another option there is to maybe offer some of those and not other ones. Permanent, that's the other one, permanence. So we might have users that are willing to pay just to put somewhere, put something up somewhere that's pseudonymous, but they don't really care if it's permanent, and maybe we could offer different price points for that. I think at the end, if you want all or most of those guarantees, you're going to have to pay something. And the level of those guarantees, for example, Ethereum delivers on all of those 100%, you're going to pay a ridiculous amount for. And maybe XDAI, gives you less of a guarantee of permanence, and IPFS gives you sort of almost none if you don't pin it. So anyway, yeah, I'm excited about that long-term vision, but it's going to take a while to get there. And I definitely want to get something more, as basic as possible first, an MVP out that we can start marketing.
Cool. Listen, I think stop the recording. I think we can stop the recording here.
Okay, let's say goodbye to YouTube. Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.